It was an afternoon that changed his life forever. Sam Cawthorn was driving through Tasmania when he fell asleep at the wheel and had a 206km/h collision with a semi-trailer. He was pronounced dead on the way to hospital, and when he did wake up, doctors told him he would never walk again.
But within 1 year, he had proved them all wrong. Sam went on to become an international best-selling author, Australian of the Year and motivational speaker, inspiring millions of people right round the world. Sam Cawthorn joins us live. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to see you.
Hi,
Thank
Sam.
you.
Now,
Hello.
your 7th book, just gone to #2 in Australia, number 15 on the worldwide charts. Tell us about the book.
So the book itself is mainly around the power of story. So as we know, story is one of the key ingredients to influence people, to inspire other people, etc. Yet I believe for too long we've been just telling stories. And so there is a shift that's happening across the world, and this shift is more around not just telling, but more about showing. Why is this relevant to the listener or to the reader? So the book itself is not storytelling, but it is story showing, how to stand out from the storytellers.
But when it comes to stories, your story does stand out from so many others. How did you turn... You were a dancer before this shocking accident, so how did you turn from being a dancer into now being this motivational speaker?
Well, it was very organic, really, because I didn't really even know anything at all about the professional speaking industry. Yet after my car accident, even when I was still in a wheelchair, there was a local school that asked me to share my story. And then before you know it, there was other schools that wanted to book me as a speaker to inspire the assembly. And then before you know it, here I've now spoken in 36 countries. I've shared the stage with some pretty cool people.
Wow.
And, you know, I've now realised that people out there, you know, there's so many people out there, they just want to be inspired through a story. And yes, I have an inspiring story.
Yeah, an incredible story. You've shared the stage with Richard Branson. We mentioned the Dalai Lama, Bill Clinton, Michael Jordan. Is there a real memorable moment in all of those for you, or is it like, oh yeah, here I am with the Dalai Lama now?
Look, I feel it's a huge honour, obviously, to share the stage with these amazing people. I still remember really clearly, I was in a room and there was about 100 people in the room, and then suddenly the atmosphere of the room changed. Now, it's hard to explain, but I did feel something shift in the room. I looked up and I looked over the other side of the room, and President Bill Clinton just walked in. And I believe he has this charisma and this presence that just shifts the atmosphere of the room. So it certainly is quite inspiring travelling the world and meeting these people.
It's not the first time I've heard that too. So who's the best speaker you've ever seen on stage? I'm looking at Richard Branson. He's very energetic.
Yeah.
But for your mind, who's the best that you've ever seen?
Look, to be quite honest, you can't go past Tony Robbins. You know, I mean, for him, the atmosphere...
He's been doing
exactly
it forever,
right. Yeah,
right?
and he has been doing it forever. But it also really does depend on what type of flavour do you want. Do you want the hoorah, get up on your feet, charge up motivation, or do you want the real intellectual person that talks about the future of, or more, you might want someone that's more around religion or spirituality?
I'm up for hoo-ha.
Sorry?
I'm up for a real hoo-ha.
Oh, really?
Well, that's Tony Robbins.
Really?
Okay, great.
I had you down as a spiritual speaker. Sam, tell us this, because so many people now are having to get on stage, be it at a work lectern or even at a conference call, and perform and project and tell a story and sell something. But a lot of people don't have your story, that motivation, yet you're showing people how to do that, how to tell the story, right? What's the key message?
So there's a couple of elements to story. One is your content, what you say, and the other one is your method, how you say it. So for me, number one, you can't compare your story with anyone else, and I believe anyone can tell a story that can turn into an edge-of-the-seat thriller, even if you think you might have a boring story. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it. So I believe that there is a three-part formula to this. The number one area is you've got to learn to share your story. You know, there was this one time when. The second part here is then tell us, what did you learn in that story? So, you know, what I really learnt was. But then you need to show us why this is relevant to us. As the listener, and this is more about, you know, have you ever felt this as well? So this three-part formula here will actually help anyone that might think they have a boring story to tell that story in a real powerful way and show why it's relevant to the listener.
You know, I just know how your next story is going to start. One time I met Sam Cawthorn, who had met the Dalai Lama.
It's 20% of what you say and 80% of how you say it. I think that's what you say,
Yeah,
right?
look, if you want to influence another person or if you want to inspire them, it's only 20% what we say, yet we spend all of our time in practicing, particularly, you know, after dinner speech or at a wedding, we spend all the time, this is what I'm going to say. But your method, how you say it, is 80%.
Book's just hit #2, on its way to #1. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Sam. To hear more or read more of Sam's incredible story, you can pick up a copy of his latest book, Storyshowing is what it's called, and it's out now.
This one time I met a guy who'd met the Dalai Lama.